Oh, hi. Okay, hi everyone. So today we are going to look at practice now 1C. Okay, and for our practice now 1C, we're going to look at two graphs. All right. So this one we have already done as a class. I think, or more likely, I've gave you time to do as a class. So if you've done it, please take this time to just quickly speed run and check that your answers are correct, and also to check that the especially the scale is correct. Okay, by scale meaning like each gap, and like for each gap how many spacing do you have. Okay, and secondly, what I want to ask you to do is for those that have not done, please spend the time to do it before you watch this video. Okay, all right, without further ado, let's look at practice now 1C question 1. Okay, now we have one graph. So the function that we have for the day, usually I don't put it in front, usually I put it behind the graph paper. Okay, but for I think our graph, we have space for this graph, so I'm just going to write it here. Right, our function is actually y is equals to 2x plus 1. Okay, y is equals to 2x plus 1, and we're going to draw this relationship with a table first to find out what are the values of x and y. Okay, and we are going to draw. Okay, so if you read the question, they give you the scale, they ask you to draw this function, and the values of x from 0 to 4. So here I'm just going to put 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4 as per written in the instructions. Okay, now next, now when x is 0, so we're going to find the values of the x and y. Okay, our values of x and y. So given these values of x, what are our values of y? So what can we do is actually very easy. It's just to substitute these values into the equation, okay, into the function. Alright, 2 times x plus 1. Alright, so we're going to replace x with the number. So the first one would be 2 times 0 plus 1 is just 1. 2 times 1 plus 1, 2 times 1 plus 1, so it's 3. 2 times 2 plus 1, 2 times 3 plus 1, and 2 times 4 plus 1. Okay, so very straightforward. It's just to put the numbers as the input, then y would be our output. Okay, so the next thing to take note is the scale. Alright, so I'm going to write this in red color. We don't have to write it down, but I'm just writing it for my own reference. So scale, we have our x-axis, we have our y-axis. So on our x-axis, we have 1 cm to 1 unit. Okay, for our y-axis is also 1 cm to 1 unit. So what does this mean is for every gap, for every one big box over here, right, we are going to see 0 and 1 and 2 and so on. So each unit is 1 cm apart. Okay, so in red you don't have to draw, but I'm just drawing out for you. Now, so what are we going to do is to set up our axis. Okay, so in order to set up our axis, and in order to draw the graph, remember to use pencil for every part. We will not mark pen work for graph. So the first thing to take note is we have looking at the horizontal one, we have 0 to 4. So I'm going to mark down like 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4, something like this. Okay, and take note that each gap over here is going to be 1 unit, 1 cm apart. Okay, using pencil. Okay, later I need to erase this. Okay, then vertically I have 1 to 9. So I'm just going to do from 0 to 9 then. Okay, so I'm just going to put 10, 9, 8. So same thing, y-axis 1 cm to 1 unit. So each one over here is 1 unit. Okay, each gap. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. So I'm just going to put in my axis over here. Okay. How do I draw a nice axis? Like this. Okay. Horizontal axis, here I come. Like this. It's a bit not ideal. Let me just write nicely. Okay, wait, x-axis, and let me erase the top now, and let me erase the sides now. Okay, so you should ideally get something like this. Okay, alright, so now I'm going to input my axis. Alright, input the things in my axis following the scale that I have earlier. Okay, so 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 10. Then horizontally I have 0 to 4, 0 1 2 3 4. Alright, so first thing, settle the axis. Okay, second thing, settle the plots. Right, so how do I plot the points? Normally I would use cross to plot the points. And cross which points? Just treat this as a set of points, right? So when x is 0, y is 1, so the coordinate that we are interested is 0 1. So 0 1 is over here. Next one, 1 and 3, so this is a set of value linking x and y. So when x is 1, y is 3, so the coordinate will be 1 3 2 5 respectively, 3 7 4 9. So we, and by a quick glance you can actually see that these crosses form a straight line. Use your ruler. Okay, you're going to use your ruler, draw a straight line passing through all these points. Okay, draw a straight line passing through all these points. Okay, so the last one is to draw the line of the graph. Okay, and label this as y equals to 2x plus 1. Okay, label the graph. Okay, so usually you have your scale mark, your plot mark, and your line mark. Okay, now an easy way to check everything that is okay is to look at the acronym SLAP. Okay, S for scale, L for line, A for axis, P for plots. Okay, so check that, make sure that you have all the elements under the SLAP. Okay, before you think that before you finish, or before you think that you to check that you have finished this graph. Okay, now number 2, the point Q6 lies on the graph in part 1. Find the value of Q. So this part I'm going to use pencil as well, but for you this part everyone is supposed to use pencil as well, but for me I'm going to use red color to distinguish my working. For you, pencil. Okay, so the point Q6, so Q6 as a coordinate actually means that x is Q, y is 6. Alright, x is Q, y is 6. So y is 6. When y is 6, what is the value of Q? Very straightforward, it's just on this graph, when y, okay, when y is equals to 6, what is the value of Q? So starting from 6, I'm just going to draw a horizontal line to the graph to read what is the value of the graph over here. Okay, and draw a vertical line down. So it should be in the middle somewhere here. Okay, so I'm reading in this direction. So when y is 6, x will be equals to 2.5. Okay, I realize that the way I draw this is a bit off. So let me retry this. Okay, 1 2 3 4. Okay, this is slightly better. Okay, so this one is 2.5. Okay, so for answering the question, right, so normally we will just put this here, okay, and we'll just answer at the side, or usually in official papers, like, you just need to look for the space to answer. So Q is equals to 2.5. Okay, so we are done with the first graph. Right, check the SLAP and see that all the elements are there. Okay, second graph. Come, let's do our second graph. Okay, oops. Okay, second graph. Now we're going to look at question 2. Now on a sheet of graph paper again, using a scale of 2, so the scale we'll deal with it later. I'm going to look at the values first. Okay, so draw the graphs of function of y is equals to 6x, so, and y is equals to sorry, one more, y is equals to 2 minus 4x. Okay, and for values of x from negative 2 to 2, so I'm just going to leave x over here. I'll start with negative 2, run my numbers to 2, and I will need to find the values of y. Okay, same way, x and y. X, I will start with negative 2 1 0, negative 1 0 1 and 2. okay, to get these points. Oh dear. Okay, let me quickly change this thing to this. Okay, glitchy. Remove this. I'm just gonna add in. Okay, unfortunately I can't get the question. Okay, sorry for the short interruption. I'm back. Okay, so here the question on top, two functions as well. Okay, so yes, so what am I doing is for values of x from -2 to 2, so meaning I'll just need to run my values of x from -2 to 2, okay, and run these values in order to find the value of y. Okay, so now y is equals to 6 times x, so 6 times whatever x is, alright, so 6 times -2 will be -12, 6 times -1 will be -6, 6 times 0 is this, 6 times 1 is 6, 6 times 2 is 12. Okay, so we've got the values for our first set. Okay, values for our first set. Okay, I'm just gonna like look and quickly do this for the second set also. Okay, now for the second set, it is 2 minus 4 times of x, right? So 2 minus 4 times -2, so it will be 2 plus 8, so this will be a 10. 2 minus 4 times -1 will be a 6. 2 minus 4 times 0 will be 2. 2 minus 4 times 1 will be -2. 2 minus 4 times 2 minus 4 times 2 would be, oh dear, 2 minus 4 times 2 will be -6. Okay, alright, so then I've settled my two sets of values. Okay, so the first set would be, okay, let me just change this to another color then to differentiate the graph. So I'm just going to use maybe, okay, purple. Alright, I'm just going to use purple for the second graph. Okay, now back to this. Let us try to find the range of values of x and y. Okay, so I'm going to look at the vertical one first. Oh yes, before we do that, let's jot down the scale. Okay, the scale is 2 cm to represent 1 unit on the x-axis. Okay, and also 1 cm to represent 2 units on the y-axis. Okay, so 2 cm for x and 1 cm for 2 units on y. Okay, so meaning for every 1 cm 2 units. So let us do the vertical one first. My maximum is 12, minimum is -12. So every 1 cm, I'm just going to go by 12, 10, 8. So every 1 cm, I'm going to go 2 units. Okay, 8, 6, 4, 2, 0. -2, -4. Check, make sure that you don't lose at the, make sure you're consistent even though it's the negative region as well. Okay, now for the x, I will need -2 to 2, and the scale is 2 cm for 1 unit. So let's say if I start over here, -2, 2 cm, 2 cm, 2 cm, 2 cm. Okay, so my axis will be over here, okay, at the 0 mark. Okay, my axis will be over here, and one more horizontal axis at the 0 mark over here. Okay, right, so now I will remove all these things on top. Make sure to remove here, please don't leave all this here. because it's going to be very messy and the marker won't be happy to see this. So okay, so 2, 4, 6, 8, check the scale again, 10, 12, y-axis, remember to label the y, okay, origin, then 2 cm, so 1 and 2, -1, -2, like what I did earlier. Okay, so now let me plot the blue color one. Okay, so we have coordinates of -2 and -12, coordinate of -1 and -6, coordinate of 0, 0, at the origin, coordinate of 1, 6, coordinate of 2 and, oops, not 10, 2 and 12. Okay, so 2, 12 over here. Alright, then I can join them with a straight line. Nice looking straight line over here. Okay, ready, get set, go. Okay, not nice. Ugh. Okay. Okay, this looks better. Okay. Alright, then the purple one, oh wait, label first, so y is equals to 6x, 6 times x. Now let me do the purple one. The purple one would be -2 and 10, -1 and 6, 0 and 2, 1 and -2, 2 and -6. So this one you pay attention, yeah? Yeah, so the second graph would look like this. So two functions, two different graphs, okay? So I'm just going to draw. Oh no, it's crooked. Okay, so this would be y equals to 2 minus 4x. So two relationship, two functions, two graphs. Okay, so yeah, so I guess that's all. So once again, make sure to check your slab. Is the scale correct? Are the lines correct? Are the axes correct? Or I didn't put my x-axis. And also are the plots correct? So actually from a glance, if you notice that a plot is out of place, most likely your calculation would be wrong for that point. Okay, so for graph, try to finish each graph within 10 minutes. For me, I finished both in 17 minutes. So yeah, it can be much faster. So try your best to do as fast as possible. Okay, so that ends this video. Have a good learning ahead.